Hi.
Thanks for coming here today. How are you feeling?
Okay, thank you. I feel like my life has changed so much, and I think about Liam every second of every day. It still doesn't feel fully real for me that he's not here. Sometimes, I'll wake up and it's a reality I have to face for the rest of my life that he won't be here. But I think the nights can be obviously the hardest as it's quiet and dark and I just, alone.
Have you had any sort of help, any professional help, any therapy? Have you?
Yes, I've been seeing therapy, which has been super helpful, and I would recommend that to anybody.
Is that like a grief counsellor, or is that
grief counseling?
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I definitely do cry most days. I think that it's still so raw for me. It's been almost 4 months, and it's sometimes it feels like it's been forever ago, but then sometimes it almost feels like it was last week. So yeah, I've been extremely, every day it's a sad day for me.
And can I take you back to that day? You'd obviously flown home 4 days prior, back to your home in Florida. Why did you leave Argentina?
Originally, we thought we were only going to be in Argentina for about a week, give or take, a little less, a little more. And after 2 weeks, I had a responsibility. We had a responsibility. We had our dog. And obviously, I never would have thought this event would have occurred. I never would have thought that this would have happened.
Yeah. Where were you when you found out that Liam had died?
I was in our home alone. I was with our dog. So I was alone, and I just still thinking about that it's just insane to me. I was actually scrolling on TikTok right before I got a phone call, and that's how I found out, unfortunately.
Who made the call?
One of Liam's friends called me, so.
And can you remember that call?
It's literally blacked out in my head. I didn't believe it at first at all. I genuinely thought it was just a rumor, or some made up thing that somebody made up just to get views online. And instantly I just had a bad feeling in my gut. I was like, why would somebody make this up? I just completely blacked out. I felt just numb because I was like, this can't be true. And when I officially found the news to be true, it just, once again, I just fully was numb. I just didn't believe it.
Did you do anything like ring him or text him or try and...
I did. I tried to call him. I called pretty much everybody. I just, and when you're in that mindset, you just call, it's just insane. Just my mind was, I just remember pacing around the house. I wasn't able to sleep at all the first night. And in a way, I was almost in a way happy that I didn't sleep because I was terrified of any dreams I would have. It would be almost like a nightmare, but turned into a reality. I think still for me, it just didn't seem real. So I felt almost, grief comes in so many different ways, and I've never experienced grief before. So for me, the first couple of hours, the first night, like I said, I didn't feel like it was real. So I was in hysterical mode, but there was parts of me that I felt myself just, this isn't real. So I would just be numb. I felt no emotion. I think one thing for me that was a really big kind of a reality that really sunk in, that he wasn't here when he was obviously in Argentina and I left. We just moved into a new house. That's when it finally, I remember just sitting on the couch with my mom, and that's when I just completely broke down. And that's when I think everything shattered for me, because that's when I realized I'm never going to see him again. He's never going to come we're never going to be in a home again together. It was just, that's when it really did hit me.
Can you remember the last text messages that you guys sent each other?
Yeah, once again, I think the last message from what I remember that I sent him was, I can't wait for you to come home and for me and Nala to be a family again together. And I can't wait for you to see the house, because obviously he knew I was decorating it. So that's the last message that I messaged him.
How was his mental health when you were with him, and that last day, just, did it come out of the blue? Do we know what happened or what triggered him or anything?
I think with addiction, you never know when it's gonna come out. It's a really serious issue that I think is undervalued and underspoken about. Like I said earlier, when I left Argentina, we had such a great day, and he was in such a good headspace, and we were in such, great, we just full of love, and I never would have expected any of that to occur.
And Liam's funeral, how was that for you? Can you put into words that day?
I went with my mom, my friends that were also friends of Liam's. We all went together, and I had, once again, like, such a great support system. It was so great to have all of those people that I loved and Liam loved so much by my side that day. The funeral was, beautiful, and it was a day, I'll never forget. And you could just feel Liam in the room with you.
I'm going to ask you a little bit about Liam's drug taking and his mental health. And, he spoke a lot about getting help, and he went through various stages of sobriety. As a partner, that must have been very, very hard to watch someone you love self-destruct and go through hard patches, but I'm guessing you supported him as much as you can.
Yeah, I stuck with Liam through, thick and thin, and I think love is so, optimistic, and you just hope that everything will work out between, everything at the end will work out.
Did you ever foresee him dying young? Because I think he spoke saying he thought maybe he would die young or something.
No, I never, you never think that the worst possible thing can happen to, no matter what it is, whether it's a family member getting sick or just a car, like, it doesn't matter. You never ever think that's going to happen. And it's just, I never would have thought that it would ever, have turned out the way it did. And I'm still just, wrapping my head around it. If I could see into the future, I would have never, left Argentina. But, unfortunately, we did have our own separate lives. Like, this wasn't the first time we traveled separately together. We would, quite often here and there in the past. So I never would have thought this would have happened.